work with urban youth, predominantly African American youth, and one of the major concerns is about social justice. And going to Mexico, I think, enhanced my perspective on social justice. That is not just a black and white issue, but it really truly is a human rights issue. I'm particularly interested in working with gang members, and something I've learned being in Mexico and even with my work with gang members is that the only way somebody can treat somebody inhumane is if they can justify in their minds that those people aren't human. And I think one of the ways that we have done that to immigrants is by labeling them as criminal, by labeling them as alien, by labeling them as stranger. And so then it causes you to focus on the behavior of the person as opposed to the humanity of that individual, and as well as their intent for coming over here. Because what we learn from listening to the people, which is why these trips are so necessary, is that they have really humane reasons for coming. And a lot of the reasons for coming has to do with some of the policy, American policy, like NAFTA in their country. And so that was just a wonderful experience, particularly when we actually sat in the courtroom and seeing people get locked up. One particular incident that I won't forget is that a young man who had actually been born in, or had come over when he was a baby, come over to the U.S. when he was a baby. He had no way to protest it or anything. It wasn't his fault, but he was over there, and that's his culture. That's what he grew up around, is American culture. And to see him in prison and then have to sit back to Mexico to really embrace something that he's not familiar with seems very inhumane, seems very unfair, seems very unjust. And so I think that's one thing that I will just never forget, is remembering that before you begin to judge a person based on their behavior, you also have to understand the intent and the reasons why people are acting the way they're acting, because then you may discover that it's external forces that may be causing them, inhumane external forces that may be causing them to act the way they're acting, to act the way they're acting.